the new year today. And with new year, you have to remember it's 2023 for your dates, not 2022. Now, with the new year, there is obviously a new term. With a new term, there's a new new podcast episode. And that's why we are here talking about the school. So, last year we were rated the best school.
Yeah, the number one school in Lincolnshire, I believe.
In the East Midlands.
In all of the East Midlands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're branching out. And let's get into some proper news. What happened in the last year? And we're going to focus on the history department, who made a little challenge for the students. And they made a World War I museum exhibit display. So as you can see on the screen there, you've got this kind of trenches.
Of them, aren't there? Mm-hmm. I believe there's also a naval themed.
And honestly, I think it's very impressive they managed to make it into like a 3D kind of format. And as well as that, you've got this really cool puzzle that neither me nor Greg can figure out. If you can, I'll put it up on screen.
We're not even quite sure what it's doing in the newsletter.
Yeah, there's no context.
Says 10 in the top left, but we think it's very interesting.
We think it's very interesting. If you can think of what it is, you know my email is. Send me a quick ping and
we'll take the credit for it.
And we'll take the credit for it. Thank you very much. And as well as that, the year 12s managed to go to the British Library in London. And as part of this, I managed to get some testimonials. Charles S. from year 12 says it was very big and also the exhibition was modern and engaging. So thank you very much for that, Charles. And William, also year 12, said that it was very classy.
Yeah, I believe he said it was a privilege.
It was also a privilege, that is right. And we're now going to move on to the music department. I've hosted the Christmas concert, the annual Christmas concert.
Unfortunately, I could not attend, but I'm assured they played some absolute bangers, including the 1812 Overture and Skyfall.
And that's going to get followed up with the Jazz Nights, which is going to be on the 27th of January. It'll be at 7 o'clock, and all tickets are available on the school website. We've heard from the history department, we've heard from the music department, now it's time for the CCF. That's right, the CCF on the 11th of November went to the Cenotaph in London. We woke up at 3 in the morning to get on the bus at 4 to make it there at 11 o'clock. And I can tell you there's a lot of people there. We laid down the wreaths that we had, and there are some really cool pictures that I'll show up on screen right now. And also now, if you want to have cool experiences like that, join the CCF. If you'd like to know more about joining the CCF, there's a video that me and Sam Davey made. Sam Davey is now the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet, and so anytime that's referenced in the episode, linked in the card on the top right. Also, the RAF became the winners of the regional championships. They excelled in all activities from command tasks to first aid, and they also did plane spotting, which the army doesn't do. So congratulations to them, who are now going to be promoted to the Nationals tournament. And I'm also going to be promoting Greg to host speaker for the next section of the podcast. Greg.
Thank you, Jakob. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the house competition. It happens every year, of course, but this year saw some new additions to the competition categories, including World War I style poetry, which...
Huge emphasis on World War I this term.
Yes, naturally.
Naturally.
And it was Finlay Reeves who won first place with his poem, The Horrors of War. And I'd also like to start from this episode, pick out one student from each year who has achieved something considerable last term, because obviously we can't go through each and every one. So we'll start with year 7, where Tom Luchild read around 4.2 million words in 28 books, which was the most of anyone in year 7, and indeed more than most of the people I'd imagine, the rest of the school as well. So congratulations to Tom. In year 8, we've selected Daniel Pitts, who you might have heard on the podcast before, very, very good at chess. And in the Glorney Cup, he won 4 out of his 6 games to help Team England win. In year 9, it was Alice Perks, who came 3rd place in the GB Laser Run Pentathlon, which took place at Bath Uni. In year 10, we'd selected George Unwin, who has been flying since his 4th birthday.
How does that even
apparently, work? Which I have no idea, but is very impressive. And he spent over 55 hours in 14 different aircraft. He aims to solo a powered aircraft before his 17th birthday, so good luck to him on that. It'll be quite an achievement if he manages it. And finally, in year 11, we'd like to point out Tom Jones is playing a part in the at Melton Theatre for their pantomime of Cinderella. Moving on to the sports news, and I'd like to start mentioning that you better
I'm
this.
cutting what?
We're cutting
We need to-
nothing because King's Sport Online is now online, which is a new piece of web software that will allow to view fixtures, results, and any sort of team news.
You can also
about
sign up to
Yeah.
any of the sporting events, which is really cool.
So moving on to the sports news from last term, and we'll start with the football, which we had mixed results in the lower years. Year 7 going 2-1, Year 8 1-1, and Year 9 losing one game, but they only played one game, so their season's just getting started. So moving on to Year 10, who have gone unbeaten so far this season, and have gone to the last 32 of the National Cup, a very impressive achievement, and one which Year 11 barely lost out to, but they are through to the last 16 in the County Cup, so good luck to them. In senior football, the first 11 have so far recorded 3 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses, and the second 11 have recorded 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So overall, a very impressive set of results for our football teams. Moving on to rugby, and our under-12s have only had 1 game, which they lost, though it was very close, and I'm sure they've grown a lot as a team over the course of their season so far, and so I imagine their first victory was going to come around the corner soon. The under-13s have won every single game they've played this season under Mr. Gilbert, feat which was also achieved by the under-14s, but perhaps the most impressive team this season has been the under-15s, who have finished their regular season games undefeated for the first time ever, and are through to the last 16 of the national Vars, so we're very excited to see if they may progress from there, already having a fantastic season. You're sure? You're confident?
They will get first
Well,
place.
write that down. Co-host Jakub Wilczewski is confident that the under-15s will go through. Among our senior teams, the second 15 have gone 3-0, and the first 15 5-2 in their competition so far. So very impressive results for the rugby at pretty much every level.
Thank you, Gregory Pluchenik, for that. However, next we have some club news. So Whist, I'll put the scores up on the screen. This was singular player Whist. So you have 3 other people on your table, and you're trying to win as many sets as you can, or tricks as I like to call it. And I'm a little bit disappointed, actually, because we've got Foxhouse at the very top, who have around 300 more points than us as Schoolhouse. Now, back in my day, we used to excel. We had like 1,000 points, give or take. And honestly, on next term we've got Partner Whist coming up. I want to see more Schoolhouse there, dominating the playing field just as we did a few years back.
The glory days.
Back in the glory days, back when it was the OGs. And yeah, I just want to see more of a vibrant experience there. So yeah, Partner Whist is going to be starting this term, Tuesday lunch. As well as that, we've got Drama Club, which happens every Monday.
In either T301 or the Hall, it's Mr. Kearney's room in the Tower Block.
Yep.
Or the Hall, under the tutelage of Mr. Kearney and our very own head boy Joe Daniels, who has acting experience, of course, most famously in Casualty Season 33, Episode 4.
Yeah.
Which you should check out if you haven't already.
And if you haven't memorized the exact episode and season yet, it's your due diligence. You have to know it off by heart. It's one of the school values. So yeah, and it's open for all year groups, which is a new addition. Previously, Drama Club was only for year 7s to 9s. And next up, we've got big dates. That's right, we've got Jazz Night, as I previously mentioned, Friday 27th of January, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Here are some photos of previous times.
That's probably the
on screen.
big event of this upcoming term, because it's, as every year, it's a huge night, and there are always some very impressive performances.
And there's a bunch of minor dates for very specific year groups, which we'll not go into because they're a bit tedious, but your form tutors should let you know of that in any case. As well as that, if you'd like to see a more extensive list of all the clubs, I flashed some up on the screen just a minute ago, but also you can go on the school website and look at the list on the newsletters. The very last date that we need to talk about is when the end of term is, the 10th of February. But unfortunately, it will be ending at usual time.
Yeah, 3:45.
3:45. I think that's all the news.
All the news. So we hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year, all. And now it's time to start working again. So sorry about that.
So, yeah, I think the bell's going to ring in T-minus 5 minutes. Get your pens ready. Be sure to write 23 at the end of your date, not 22. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you all next term, or whenever the next interview is going to be.
Next episode of The Ramble.
The next episode of The Ramble. Or in the Ramble Arena, as I started to call it. I don't know why. So, there you go. Adios, everyone.